Budget cuts at LMC may force studio closing.
Decisions Muir on the location of new cellular telephone equipment.
TCI's right to operate is under review.
A speeding ticket in Larchmont lands a Brooklyn man in jail.
And newly elected town councilman Barry Weprin talks about the town council's agenda for 1995. These stories and more on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alyssha Schiering.
And I'm Sven Oehme. LMC-TV is having some hard economic times, so while it waits for a final franchise agreement to be reached with TCI and the Tri-Municipal Cable Board of Control. More from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Roger Norum. Roger?
The channel you are watching is having some hard times, so much so that one of its two studios may have to shut down. LMC-TV is not getting as much money as it had in previous years, and it's being forced to cut its budget by 13%, according to the Soundview News. What's hurting most is the cable franchise agreement with TCI. It expired more than a year ago, and negotiations on a new agreement have stalled. The main reason is some big question marks about the future regulation of cable systems from Washington over rates and limitations. TCI serves nearly 24 communities in Westchester, and all but one have not been able to finalize new franchise agreements with TCI. It's hoped the impasse won't last much longer. The Soundview News quotes LMC-TV's executive director, Joe Windisch, saying, because of budget limitations, one studio may have to be eliminated. LMC-TV operates its main studio out of Mamaroneck High School and has a second studio off the main library of the Emlyn Theater in the Mamaroneck Library building.
Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Christina Bolger has an update on the cellular phone moratorium in the town. Christina?
Cellular phone antennas are a hot issue on the board in Mamaroneck. By January 8th, Mamaroneck officials will release where the antennas can be placed. There has been a ban on the antennas since the summer, when 9X Mobile Communications proposed a couple of local sites. A main concern for residents are the electromagnetic fields generated by the antennas. Scientists say there should be at least 2,500 feet from residents and the antennas, as low power levels might affect living things. Some scientists say more research is necessary. Other scientists agree with 9X and industry representatives. The APA had been working on guidelines, but to date they have been postponed. Unfortunately, there are no federal standards on how much exposure to radio frequency radiation is safe. One reassuring note is that cellular phone antennas have been banned from school properties in other states. So let's hope Mamaroneck is among the fortunate and remains safe. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Christina Bolger.
4 years of hard work and a number of setbacks hasn't stopped plans to dredge the Premium River, which borders on Larchmont and New Rochelle. The dredging, a cooperative venture by the town and its two villages, calls for the dredged materials to be dumped in the landfill off Taylor's Lane in Mamaroneck town. The town of Mamaroneck has received a $618,000 grant from the Department of Environmental Conservation. The project is costing $50,000 more than the grant, and Mamaroneck and Larchmont are expected to split it. For more, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Roger Norum spoke with Town Councilman Barry Weprin.
We finally approved the final contract for dredging Premium Marsh, something that's been being worked on for 4 years by the Town Council and the village of Larchmont.
How did it all come about?
Well, there was the Premium Marsh area has been silted over, so that a lot of the areas there, the water is really only a few inches deep, and it just needs to be dredged, as many coastal areas which have runoff need to be dredged periodically. And about 4 years ago, a number of residents started a campaign to get a grant to dredge the Premium. And there was a grant that was obtained from the New York State for something in excess of $600,000 to do the drainage project. And there were a number of problems that arose, and there were a number of delays. And
you got a big assist from Mamaroneck Village, too.
We did, yes, because coincidentally, by the time the project came about, Mamaroneck Village was in the process of ameliorating the Taylor Lane landfill, and they needed the fill that we're taking out of the premium was something that we thought they could use in Taylor's Lane, and it both decreases the cost of their project because we're giving them the fill for nothing, and it decreases our cost because we were going to have to transport that fill much farther away than Mamaroneck.
So that's great, a win-win situation there.
Yes, it was. And the Village of Larchmont also cooperated. We're using their property and Rancid Field to dry the material before taking it to Mamaroneck.
So does this mean ultimately we're going to see more wildlife, more fish, more what?
Well, hopefully it will ensure that the wildlife and fish that are there are maintained. It'll also allow boating in the area where there used to, I understand there used to be canoeing and small boating in the Premium River, and it hasn't been possible the last few years because of the siltation.
Great. Okay.
Any additional overrun is being covered by the Premium River Pine Brook Preservation Association, made up of residents of Larchmont, Mamaroneck, and New Rochelle. With the go-ahead given to contractors, it seems our river will soon live up to its premium name.
Mamaroneck Village and a former court clerk are now waiting for State Supreme Court Justice Aldo Nastasi to decide whether Barbara Curtin resigned from her job as court clerk in the village or whether she was dismissed. The village takes the position that, in effect, she resigned when she endorsed 2 checks for compensatory and unused vacation time and when she left her job on January 19th of last year. She argues that she did not submit written resignation and that the village violated her right to a procedural hearing over the termination of her position. Curtin started to work for the village on December 2nd, 1991. In the fall of 1993, auditors discovered records kept by Curtin which were, quote, unaudible. Mamaroneck village attorney James Noletti has argued that Curtin resigned in order to avoid a hearing on her record keeping. As a result of a hearing, charges could have been brought against Curtin. Alyssha?
After a Tuesday night court appearance to take care of some traffic tickets in Larchmont Village, Paul Jones found himself under arrest. Federal marshals were waiting for Jones, who was in violation of his parole. Jones, 37, was convicted in 1985 in Miami for importation of cocaine and possession with intent to distribute. He was stopped in Larchmont in October for speeding and driving with a suspended registration and made 2 previous appearances in Larchmont Village Court before marshals got a hold of him. Jones was being held in Westchester County Jail in Valhalla, but has been moved to the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Lower Manhattan.
Anyone interested in Mamaroneck's business district along Mamaroneck Avenue should mark January 19th on the calendar. That evening, Peter Mosbacher, the executive director of the New York Main Street Alliance, will present the results of his analysis of Mamaroneck Avenue in early December. The Mamaroneck Avenue Task Force had asked him to look at the stretch of Mamaroneck Avenue between the entrance to Harbor Island Park and Prospect Avenue. The meeting with Mosbacher, at which he will present his results, will take place at 8 in the evening at Mamaroneck Village Hall. The date, once again, January 19th. According to the task force, Mosbacher was impressed by the harbor and its proximity to the business district. Harbor Island Park, by the way, is getting closer to completion with 60 to 70% of the major work already done.
The cable war continues to wage as we tune in to the contract dispute between TCI and Larchmont Mamaroneck Town and Village. The basis of this dispute rests in the municipality's fees. TCI has been operating under a TOA, or Temporary Operating Authority, since December 31st, 1993. The Larchmont Mamaroneck Cable Television Board of Control is in strong opposition to any additional TOAs, as it fights for an increase in its share of TCI's franchise fees from 3 to 5% of the company's gross operating revenue. These fees, which were between $115,000 and $120,000 in 1994, are used for LMC and some operating expenses. TCI says they may have to pass on a cost of over 50 cents to its customers' bills to cover the increase. As of December 9th, the New York State Commission on Cable Television has extended TCI's TOA for only 1 month and will be voting on any continued extensions this week. With flyers recently sent by TCI stating increases of nearly $2, it seems this mini-series will continue to air. We'll keep you updated.
The plans for the proposed Continental View development are currently under review by Mamaroneck Village. The developers plan a 3-story building with 39 units at 1035 East Boston Post Road. Last week, the developers met with the Coastal Zone Management Commission to discuss whether the project interferes with the village's waterfront revitalization project. They also met with the Architectural Review Board this week. On Thursday, the Planning Board will review the Continental Development proposal. The developers are hoping to start work in February or March after the review process has been completed.
More cold weather? Are the many snowstorms which the Farmer's Almanac says are in store for us on the horizon? Our very own weatherman, Larchmont Mamaroneck community news reporter Ed Muir has the answers in his weekly weather report.
Well, the new year definitely started a little bit shocking after we were fooled by quite a warm December. The cold snap should continue for most of this week as high pressure is dominating just about all of the eastern half of the country, giving us mostly sunny skies, but rather chilly and windy conditions. As we go to the 5-day forecast, this will continue because we're going to see high pressure continuing to dominate, and the only thing that's going to stop it is there's going to be a little bit of a weak system coming out from the Midwest, giving us a little bit of snow on Wednesday, but it's going to quickly off to sea, giving us high pressure once again on Thursday and Friday. So 4 out of 5 days, high pressure, sunny skies, a little bit chilly and windy. 5-day forecast looks something like this. Monday, mostly sunny, 35 degrees. Tuesday, mostly sunny, 36 degrees. Chance of light snow on Wednesday, 34 degrees. Clear out, colder, 32 degrees on Thursday, 34 degrees and sunny on Friday. Chance for a little more precipitation coming for next weekend. So a little bit different than we've seen. Just, the weather's trying to tweak you a little bit, remind you of what season it is, because aside from the snow, it looks like we have finally reached the full potential of winter. But of course, according to the Farmer's Almanac, we should have had a lot of snow by now, but I'll leave that alone for now. But if you were one of those people who brought a snowblower like, say, July or August, you may be wondering if your investment was very wise. Well, don't worry about it quite yet. There's, of course, still a lot more of winter to come. If we don't get snow in the next few weeks, though, then you might want to think about it. We'll talk then. But until next time, for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Ed Muir. Enjoy the weather.
In his series on wealth accumulation, Jim Thompson filed this report. This week he talks about the automatic method for wealth creation.
You'd like to know about an automatic way to create wealth? There's an invention of modern banking. It's called Check-O-Matic. I contend that the easiest way to wealth is to go to your bank or go to your insurance company or go to your mutual fund company and ask them to automatically debit your checking account every month. If you've been watching my show for the last year, you've noticed I've given this idea a lot. I'm going to call it the automatic method to wealth. Go to your financial advisor or just go to the bank and start a Christmas club, but let somebody take money out of your checking account every single month, and that money is going to your net worth. So my wealth accumulation tip of this week is establish some kind of automatic Check-O-Matic plan for your wealth creation program.
If you have the wintertime blues, think about a summertime job. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Roger Norum explains.
If it'll warm you up any, think about summer and summer jobs, especially for teens. Applications for summer employment with Westchester County are now available at the county office building in White Plains. Jobs include parks and pool attendants, lifeguards, playland ticket takers and ride operators, laborers and office workers. Salaries start at $5 an hour but vary with the jobs and work involved. By the way, the minimum age for these jobs is 16 years old, and senior citizens can also apply. Preference is given to Westchester County residents. The job applications are in the county personnel office in the county office building in White Plains.
And finally, Encountering the Unexpected is the title of an art exhibit at Mamaroneck Artists Guild at 2120 Boston Post Road in Larchmont. The exhibit runs until January 28. For more information, call Nan Walsh, the gallery director, at 834-1117.
And that concludes this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. You can watch this program Monday through Saturday at about 12 noon and also about 7 in the evening.
Or you can request it on LMC's Request TV. Just call Studio 2 at 381-0131, or after 3 p.m., call Studio 1 at 698-6808 and request that the news show be put on the air. It may just be a couple of minutes.
All of us who work on this program are volunteers, and we'd like you to join our team. It's a fun way to get involved in community affairs and to learn about television news. And in addition, you also meet new people.
Every Thursday night at about 7 p.m. we start putting this program together. We're located in LMC Studio 1, which is in the Mamaroneck High School building right up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand on Palmer Avenue.
If you have a story or some video which you think we might like to use on this program, come by on a Thursday night and we'll most likely use your story. Or if you have any comments, suggestions, or some criticism, but can't come on a Thursday night, you can also send us a letter. The address is 540 West Boston Post Road, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543. Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alyssha Schiering.
And I'm Sven Oehme. Join us again next week on this channel, Channel 14.
20th at 7:30 p.m.
Area Eagle Scout soars, get a shot of the cover.
Is that okay? Oh, we should start somebody here.
This is take 2 on the opening.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Bill Littauer.
And I'm Roger Norum.
I'm Nina Nastis.
And I'm Julie Auclair.
I'm Joanne Bordeaux.
And I'm Sven Oehme.
I'm Deborah Dorn.
And I'm Lynn Goodman.
If you're the parent of a 6th grade student starting the hummocks in the fall, you won't want to miss one of the tours being conducted right now of the hummocks.
Anyways, the vote on the Rhineck school bond issue was a strange one.
Here's a financial fact that might save you some big bucks.
Hi, Jim Thompson with the Wealth Accumulation Tip of the Week.
That's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck.